So basically, no matter how you want to be able to play it, if you just start off with going like, go what's next? C minor to F minor to B flat. You know, it's just kind of, it's so much fun. I actually kind of did some things there, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen. I did this, I did that, and I liked it. One thing that's kind of neat, I noticed just now, that when I do melodic minor on that C minor 7, the major 7 is the flat 5 of the F minor. You know, which is kind of neat. So let's try an example, another way of looking at it. Basically just kind of guiding through the chords. Like, take a look at where it goes to the G minor 7. It's the B section, which is only the third staff. It says G pedal, actually, underneath it. Oh, go for it. Okay, so let's just try an example. Let's do you know your pentatonic modes pretty well? I did some videos on them, like, I don't know, a long time ago, back when I was still doing green screening and stuff. Anyway, and I go through all of them. They have weird names. Some of them I haven't had to look up the names, like Mangong was one of them. I remember that. That's one of the names. It's weird names. Anyway, so, but here's the way I look at it. Minor pentatonic 1, right? For G minor, that's the first mode of minor pentatonic. And then the second would be the next one. And the third one, fourth one, oops, and the fifth one, and the first one again, right? So let's take a look at G minor, and let's start from the fifth one. But we're going to start way down here. So we're just going to start at the bottom of the neck and then hit our way up through the chords. So G minor, the fifth mode would be first fret, third fret on both the first two strings. And then O3, O3. And then 1, 3, 1, 3. Yeah. Cool. Now let's look at C7, and let's do the C minor pentatonic, but we're going to bend the thirds. So I'm going to start now from the third fret, and we're going to sort of just make moving up positions each chord. So it's going to be third fret, sixth fret, and then the same, except you're going to bend the pinky on the A string. Yeah. And then you're going to have 3, 5, 3, 5. And then you're going to do 4, 6, but you want to bend the 4. Good. And then you're going to have the same thing on the high E string as you have on the low E string. That's always going to be the case here. So we had this. You try. You bent from the third, bent from the fourth, yeah. This is like 4, bend up to 5, and then 6. Good. All right, so now if we, yeah, that sounded good. So if we do like the G minor to the C. You know, like that. You try. Good, that's it. Okay, so the next chord, it goes back to G minor. So we're going to do, we could actually just do G minor here in first position and just keep moving up that way. Actually, this happens a few more times. So let's go ahead and do that. So we do G minor here. That's the easy one. It's too easy almost. Okay, and now we're going to do C minor pentatonic. Let's move up to the next position. It's going to be the same mode that we did for our first one. Actually, you know what? Instead of doing this easy one, because you know that one too well, let's do the second mode there. So that's going to be... yeah. Oops, sorry. Let's do it one at a time. Cool. All right. And then when you go to C7, with us, we can stay in that same position. But of course, because it's a minor pentatonic over a dominant chord, we'll want to bend the thirds. Now we have to know which ones the thirds are. Just like we over here, we had to know. We have to do the same thing here. We have to be like this. This is actually our first position one we did. Oh, sorry. Except now we're doing it up here. So it's going to be 6-8, 6-8. Yeah, and then yeah, you're going to bend that 6 for the A string. And then it's going to be 5-8, 5-8. But you're going to bend this 8. Yeah. All right, and then of course the B string and high E are 6-8. All right, so now we have G minor. Oh, sorry. To C7, bending the third. And then we had G minor. And then we had C7. Next we've got G minor and C7 again, right? So if we go to G minor, we can go up to this position. So that's going to be 8-10, 8-10, 8-10. (8-10) again, all of them. Yeah, this is the one. See, G is here on the 10th fret of the A string. So when you've got that situation, you've got your G or any note, you know. But if your root is on the A string, you're trying to do minor pentatonic, you can do like that. All right, and then the G string goes 7-10, and the B string just does the same, but it moves up a fret, so it's going to be 8-11. And then you've got 8-10. High E string's the same as the low E string. Good. A friend of mine can do that way fast, like. He does like. I don't know if he's so familiar with that shape, but he does it with like the first position a lot. It's like. It's crazy. A guy who's like really crazy about this stuff is. What's his name? It's got a like super dark tone. Super famous guitar player. Oh, Johnson. Eric Johnson. Yeah. No, dark is in his tone, like the way he sets his amp. It's like very. He rolls his tone knob off, among other things. I don't know. It's like his no presence. Like it's just a really dark tone. You know what I mean? Like he's like this the timbre of his guitar. It's not like a bright sound. So our progression is like. That's what the first 4 measures are, right? So over those, although I mean, if we slow it down a little bit to play over them, if we do what I just did, like instead of being like G minor to C, or just G minor the whole time, here comes the C chord. Like that'd be, you could do it. You could just play G minor the whole time. But trying to kind of move around the fretboard, this is kind of a nice exercise. So you can play like G minor, C7. Oh, I forgot to bend the third on that one. But anyway, that's kind of fun. It's what I'm doing is I'm trying to move around the neck, and I'm just sticking to the pentatonics, you know. So if I were to do it again, just another example, try to keep it a little more fresh than that. G minor, I go, and then oh yeah, that was tricky. Okay, what I did here, I went to the second shape of the minor pentatonic, but I have to bend the thirds, right? Let's try that on the C. It's on the 10th fret, or sorry, the 11th fret. That right there, the first note you play is the minor third, so that has to bend. And then the next string is going to be like it used to be. But you gotta bend the D string 11th fret or 13th fret. All right. It's gonna be 11 bending, and then it's gonna be 13, and then it's gonna be 10 13. And it's gonna be 10 13, but you gotta bend the 13. And then you gotta do the G string is gonna be 10 12. We haven't got to the other ones yet. The G string will be 10 10 12. The B string will be 11 13. And then the high E string will be the same as the low E string, where you bend the 11th. Yeah, you hear this all the time. You know? People don't usually just play it up and down, but it's kind of a nice way to start, I guess. Cool, any questions about that? It's like what we had before would have said like, okay, we play G to C7. Maybe I would have played, like before the melodic idea, maybe I would have played something like this, maybe like where I go. You know, so like play a few notes, and then the C comes, and then yeah, and I'm kind of thinking some passages and stuff. I'm in one place. If I could play that way without being locked in one little on one fret, you know, that'd be kind of nice. So kind of way to do it is just to use pentatonics, something you're comfortable with, but not too comfortable. Obviously, if you don't know all your pentatonics, it's a good opportunity to learn in that way too. But that way you can kind of move around a bit. I did there's another trick you might find kind of interesting. These are like a lot of different approaches. Each one of these deserves a lot of time. But you can just pick out the one that you think is kind of the most interesting to you and go with it.